Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dippin. I'm here at Pharma Plus, part of the Professional Services Department, and today is your video fix by Pharma Plus, and we'll be discussing revalidation and the framework, and particularly with regards to recording and what you need to record. And today is the 19th of February 2018. As per the last video, just to give you a bit of a heads up, the system for CPD is changing. Records will need to be submitted now every year with your registration online, and for you therefore to remain on the register. It's not an optional requirement, you must do this. And there's a bit more information on this on the GPHC website, and you can see the link below, and we would strongly suggest that you click on it and have a look for yourselves as well. So we've divided revalidation into 4 separate parts. Last week we discussed timelines. This week we'll be looking into part of the framework. We'll also be talking in later videos about the materials and how to set yourself up. And we'll also be talking throughout the video series on the sorts of support that you can expect from us as well. We're going to be looking at the framework first of all, and it's separated into 3 separate parts. We've separated it into recording, we've also separated it into how to submit your records, and also on what feedback and review you'll get from the GPHC. To begin with, what we would strongly suggest is that you do go on the website just mentioned here above. And on there, what you'll see is there is a link called Read the Revalidation Framework. And we would strongly suggest that anybody who's going to go through this has a look through that. And this information that we're going to be going over has been obtained directly from this document. The framework is generally separated into 3 separate parts. The first is recording, the second is submission, and the third is review and feedback. And as I mentioned a bit earlier, we'll be talking a little bit more about recording this week. So what you're expected to do. Basically, you're expected to do 4 pieces of CPD. You're expected to also do a peer discussion and also a reflective account. By the 31st of October 2018, you'll need to submit 4 CPD records. That increases to the whole of what you need to submit, including the peer discussion and the reflective count, and 4 new CPD entries by the 31st of October 2019. So let's have a little bit more of a look on CPD. Basically, you need to do at least 2 planned CPD entries. The rest can be unplanned, although sometimes what happens is that a planned CPD entry could lead to an unplanned CPD entry and vice versa as well. So as mentioned earlier, some learning needs to be planned. You need to have at least 2 entries that are planned. You could do as many CPD entries as you want, although you only need to submit 4. They want to hear about the benefits for the people you are serving. And also they want you to respect patient confidentiality. Do not give any patient names or anything that could potentially identify them. They want you to use a variety of methods. In other words, not just attending CPD events. You could do research online, you could look at journal articles and a variety of other methods as well. And also it should reflect the breadth of what you do. In other words, if you do work outside of the pharmacy, in, for example, a GP practice, it should reflect that as well. Let's have a look at the peer discussion then. This is obviously a discussion with a peer, in other words, somebody of a similar standing to yourself. And the idea behind this is to engage with others to reflect on your learning and practice. It should be open, honest, and with somebody you trust. And therefore, it can't be forced upon you. It must not be part of an appraisal. And therefore, also, it should not be a family member or a close friend, basically down to conflicts of interest. It could be through a variety of different media. It could be face-to-face, on the phone, via web chat, or anything similar to that. and for your sakes it will probably be a pharmacy professional. As such, we can help you through this. We can actually be your peers, and we would hope that you would choose us as your peer as well, and we'll be discussing in later videos and possibly after the series on how this is going to work. Now let's have a look at the reflective account. And the reflective account is basically regarding how you meet the standards for pharmacy. And essentially it is a summary of your practice history for the past year, and they're asking you to include the typical users of your service as well. What they are, who they are, what they do. The statement should be on how you meet one or more of the pharmacy standards, and also they will ask you to provide support for that as well. Now what we would strongly suggest you do, that before you write up your reflective account, that you actually discuss it with a peer, and at least that way that could form part of your peer discussion as well. Now we fully understand that this is incredibly theoretical, and it's a good idea to give you some examples on what is expected of you. And what we would like you to do as homework after this particular video is that we would like you to go to that website, pharmplusregulation.org revalidation glance, and this time we would like you to click on access resources and support to help you complete your revalidation submission. And when you click on that and you scroll down a little bit, you'll see this particular slide here, or this particular part of the website. And here it goes over a number of different things. It gives you an idea of what you need to do in order to write a CPD entry for planned entry, for unplanned. It'll give you some information on how you can structure your peer review, and also on your reflective account as well. So that's part of your homework after this, is to go onto that website and click on those links and have a look at what they expect from you there. Right, that's it. So we've already discussed timelines in a different video. We discussed part of the framework this week. Later we'll be discussing the materials and setup, in other words, what you need to do in order to start yourself up. And also we discussed a little bit on the sort of support that you can expect from us. We can be your peers should you wish to do so. We discussed recording. We will be discussing how to submit your records, and we'll be discussing in later videos the review and the feedback that the GPHC will give to you. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you want to find out a little bit more about us, our email address is info@pharmplusltd.co.uk, and our telephone number is 0208 863 3335, and our web address is www.pharmplusltd.co.uk. If you're not a member and want to find out a little bit more about us, you can always contact us for a bit more information. We have a variety of buying deals, we have a professional support department, we have a variety of training events, and a number of different social and networking events throughout the year. So, we'll see you at the same time next week. Thank you for watching. Take care now. Bye-bye.